Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate. This is part 3 of 3. So if you missed part 1 and 2, I would say at least go back to part 2. That one was a great one. And this one's going to wrap it up as far as where we should be focused on for our social media plan for 2025. And look, if you missed the other ones, I was in the process of coaching our social media arm, and we were going through what we should be paying attention to the most. And it's really coming down to niche content, not worrying so much about what you're recording with, right? Whether it's an amazing camera or anything like that. It really comes down to the stories. It comes down to storytelling. But a lot of us have a hard time identifying what that content looks like. That's why we went over the STAY formula yesterday. And today, I simply want to showcase this. And if you're reading with me, let me move my little camera to the right so you can see on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Focusing on value and education through storytelling video content. I think a lot of the times we forget that the way to connect with somebody the fastest is when it's just a one-way social media video thing, not in person. In person, it's listening, right? That's the way you connect the fastest. Through social media, though, when we're creating the content and people are tuning in, they want to listen to stories, right? They want to know that there's something of substance here, and they'll remember it because of something that you said. And for me, I go back to the very first time I realized that social media was an actual way of getting business when I thought it was a fake lead. And it was on Instagram. I don't even know how long this was. Must have been 2015. And I jumped in a little late on Instagram, but it was 2015. We were posting on Instagram. We posted up a property. And then next thing I know, this person is messaging me saying that they're one of the princes of, it was a while back, of Saudi Arabia, or maybe it was Dubai. And and then I was like, yeah, whatever. I kept on just pushing them off and saying, hey, we're going to come. They said, we're going to come down to the United States. We're coming into Bel Air. We'd love to see these properties that are out there. We're looking to possibly buy, but probably want to lease. And here's our lease amount. We wanted to probably lease for about 25,000 or 30,000 a month. Is there something out there? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I pushed it off. I actually pushed it to a different agent. And I said, hey, man, I don't know if this is going to be a good one or not, but you're going to have to roll with it just to see if it is. So here it is. I gave it over to him. He ended up meeting them in person, and they ended up loving a property to lease. And then he calls me up. He goes, hey, Tristan, I'm sitting here in front of the property, and they've got a briefcase full of cash, and they said they want to lease this, and it looks like it's legit. And I was like, oh crap, I screwed that one up. So now he became friends with them, and now he's partying with them. And yes, they've done the transaction and others. So I was like, man, I guess Instagram is legit, right? And that was my story for it. And so I want you to understand that in connection to people and connecting to people that you're trying to attract, you've got to do it in storytelling fashion. And there's no better way of doing it than video. And here, if you're watching on the screen, I'm going to go through TikTok and YouTube Shorts. That's the biggest opportunity right now we have in TikTok and YouTube is Shorts. You can grow your channels. You can connect with people by throwing in shorts with stories. And the TikTok shorts are different. They're not going to be the same that you do on Facebook or LinkedIn. It's just a different beast. But don't let that stop you from repurposing and testing it out for yourself. All right. So TikTok and YouTube shorts, I would say focus on quick delivery and focus on getting those hooks in as fast as possible and making sure that you're telling that story. Instagram reels and stories, that's almost the same, but I think it's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more, in some cases, flashy. Like you need to show better quality video, and jump cuts are great there. In comparison to when you're on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, those could be just like me talking straight through, and people will connect better. On Instagram, it's a little bit different in sense of we actually do amazing with video tours on TikTok. And if you go to Instagram, Instagram is, like I said, a little bit more flashy, still great, 90 seconds or less, but higher video quality seems to work there. And I love one thing on Instagram the most, if you are going to dive in deeper into this, and that's going to be connecting ManyChat and having people connect in Messenger. That's one thing that's pretty powerful in Instagram and in stories that you don't see on TikTok as much. And that's people engaging with your messenger inside of Instagram or on the comments in order to receive some type of thing. If you got a new listing and you want to send out the features and you're like, hey, everyone, comment features below for this property, and it automatically send you all the features for this property or whatever you want to give out. And you just connect ManyChat to it. But that's a whole different story. When it comes to Facebook and LinkedIn, you're looking at longer form video. I would say I'd add YouTube here as well. But that longer form video is no longer like it used to be necessary to have this flashy stuff. It's actually just storytelling with your iPhone, with your Android phone. I almost forgot the word Android by for a second because I only use iPhone. I'm like, there's another phone. It's the Android phone. Um, or your Pixel from Google, whatever it is. And then Twitter. Twitter video, they are definitely an up and comer. And I call it Twitter still, even though it's X. But you should definitely be paying attention to where X is heading. Video, words, written does very well there. But I know the emphasis is coming, and I'm seeing it happen where you've got, these controversial figures on X that are outperforming other channels just because they're fully on X doing their shows. And I thought, man, this is a massive opportunity for those that are jumping in early. In fact, X is probably the next one that's going to blow up if it's done if they continue to pay attention to video like you're watching. And the last piece to this is I need you to continually go back to the videos that are performing well. And that means you're going to have to invest time in researching your analytics. You've got to identify your top performing videos. You've got to identify what didn't do well. And then as you do that, you've got to be more strategic and say, now going through this stay formula, I'm figuring out which ones from these perform better, which ones didn't do as well, maybe cut those out, do a lot more of these, and A/B test. But you're not there yet. Maybe you are. If you are, then you've got to dig deeper on analytics. You've got to see which ones are performing well, what titles performing well, what content, what hook. This is how you do the A/B test, right? Try one hook, try another one, and see how it goes. Anyway, that's a wrap. There's a lot to this PDF, so if you need it, message me on Instagram. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.